So how will you locate a shear center? Okay, of whatever be the section, how will you locate it? So here I have given a C section, so I will give you the concept of locating a shear center. Okay, so here say this length, I mean there is shear force distributed will be like this. Okay, that means a shear force of F1 will act on its web, a shear force F will act on its flange, and this same force will act here also. Okay, such that these both are equal and opposite, and they are separated by a distance B. Okay, clear? So two forces which are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, and when they are separated by a distance, what happens? It provides a couple. Okay, so for this system you have a couple acting here as well as a couple which gives a rotation in clockwise direction as well as a force. So shear center should be a point such that the total twist of the point should be eliminated, or of the system should be eliminated. So now for this structure, F1 is acted on two flanges, cancel each other, but creates a rotating effect, right? That I explained due to the couple, right? But on the web, force F acts, right? Now what happens? This is how you can analyze this. See, this is the C section. Due to an F1 force coming inside and coming outside, this provides a couple. So this will have a clockwise moment. Okay, right, and that moment will be force into couple of arm. This distance is H. So this is H. Okay, and now this is height, F1 into height. This is having a clockwise moment. So in order to cancel, also you have a force F2 along this direction, right? So you need to cancel this F2 force and to create an equal opposite moment. That means here it is clockwise, you need an anti-clockwise moment such that the total system remains in equilibrium. So what you need to do, here you have an F2 force, right? So in order to, it's not F2, this is F. That means the net effect force, because F1 and F1 gets cancelled, so the total effective force is F. Okay, F2 is also okay, but it's better to keep it as F. Okay, this is the effective force. Okay, shear force, effective shear force acting. So this shear force should be applied in some point towards the left. Why towards the left? Because this is going upside, right? And again this, at this point, which is at a distance of E, you are applying a force whose magnitude is F itself. That means this F and this F are same, such that what happens, this will rotate anti-clockwise. So what happens if you take a force here, this will rotate clockwise and this one is also clockwise. So the system will not remain same. So for that particular case, we are taking this shear center point along its left side, such that here you have an anti-clockwise moment, here you have an anti-clockwise moment, but you see that this moment is having F1 into H. The value of this moment is F1 into H. But here, say the distance from this shear center to this force is E. This is called as eccentricity. E is called as eccentricity, such that this couple is having a moment F into E. Okay, so in order to remain the system in equilibrium, F into E should be equal to F1 into H. Is that clear? So once again I will tell you, you have a channel C section in which you have a force F1 going like this, shear force F1, and this F1 will equal and opposite, this will cancel like this, and the net effective shear force F will be acting along this direction. Also, due to this F1 and this F1, there will be a moment which is acting clockwise. Okay, now this is its effective shear force. This shear force will lead to the twisting of the member. In order to avoid that, you need to apply a load equal to this shear force F at a distance E from it. So since here we have a clockwise moment, if you need to maintain the equilibrium, you need to have an anti-clockwise moment. So in this direction, so you are applying a point C, which is E, which is at a distance E from the force, from the web of this flange of this membrane. Okay, now if this is applied, you can say that the total system in equilibrium, so F1 into E is equal to F1 into H. Okay, now we'll see what will be the value of shear center for thin walled open section. That means for a C center, what will be the shear center. Okay, now we'll see in the part of mechanics of solids, you might have studied about the total shear force can be given as tau is equal to F-A-Y bar by I-B. Okay, so this A-Y bar is called as statical moment of area about x-axis, which can be represented as Q in some textbooks. Okay, so FQ by IT, because T is nothing but here you are naming it as T, that's all. Okay, thickness is T, and this is the breadth and this is the height. Listen, the main thing is that this breadth is the length from this point to this point, not its extreme length. Okay, and H is the length from this point to this point. T is the whole length, and this length becomes T by 2, T by 2. This also becomes T by 2, T by 2, T by 2. Okay, right? So you need to find out the shear stress acting along this whole thing, and you need to find out the shear center. The main thing is that you need to find out the shear center. Okay, so bringing up the concept that we have discussed here, you need to apply it here. Before that, we need to solve this. Tau is equal to FQ by IT. So we need to find out the shear center of this channel section. For that, initially we consider a small section AA, x distance apart from the free end of the top flange. See, from the top flange you consider a section AA which is x distance apart from the section. Okay, shear stress of that section is given by tau A is equal to F into Q statical moment of area by IT. Rest all things are constants for the whole structure. So QAA is AY bar. This is the AA section. Area is X into T. Right? x into t, and y bar. What do you mean by y bar? Y bar is the distance from the centroidal axis to centroid, right? Centroid of this section. So this will be from here to here, this is h. So from this to this will be h by 2. Okay, that is placed here. Okay, so QAA is xth by 2. Now the shear stress is given by f into xh by 2 into I. So that is the shear stress in the top flange up to here is fh by 2I into x. That means here the shear stress varies linearly with x. Okay, now if you give the limits, if x is equal to 0, that means at this point there is no shear stress, right? X is 0 means there is no shear stress, and at this point, at point x is equal to b, fh by 2I into b. This is the maximum shear stress on the flange. Now similarly we will consider the variation of shear stress in the web also. We will give a section, say here we will mark CC like this. Okay, see CC, you have the A section here. Up to here we will find out the statical moment and shear stress. Okay, so here now, since we are finding from here to this point, we will convert this into two structures, 1 and 2. Okay, now statical moment of this section is given by, see this section, the length is the total from here to here, it is b minus t by 2 is its breadth, and thickness is t by 2, b minus t by 2 into t. Now y bar will be from this point to this point, that is h by 2. So q1 is b minus t by 2 into t into h by 2. So since we are considering a thin section, from the question, from the heading itself, we are considering thin walled open section, we will neglect t by 2 as 0. So that t by 2 again becomes very thin, right? So that can be cancelled. So this gets cancelled. Okay, but b t h by 2. Okay, now for element 2, what happens? This is the element 2. From centroid to here, this distance is h by 2 and this is t by 2. So from that you need to know this length, right? So from centroidal axis to CC section, the distance is taken as y. So the total distance becomes, for this length becomes h by 2 plus t by 2 minus y, right? Okay, or h by 2 minus y plus t by 2. Okay, so h by 2 minus y means you got this section plus t by 2. Okay, into the thickness is t. Okay, now y2 bar is nothing but from this point to centroid of this point. So y, how they have applied this? H by 2 minus y plus t by 2 by 2. That means the whole distance. What is the distance of this? H by 2 minus y is up to here, plus t by 2 divided by 2. Okay, plus this distance y. Okay, clear? Okay, now again you are cancelling. The value of t by 2 is considered as 0. You are applying q2, you will get this value. And now total statical moment up to CC section is q1 plus q2. You will get bht by 2 is q1, and this term will be, you will expand this. Okay, just write down this and you will expand this. you'll get shear stress on the web will be, you're applying this QCC on this equation, and you will get F by 2I into BH plus H square by 4 minus Y square. And if you apply the limits, H by 2 and minus H by 2, because this diagram is like this. This is the centroid. From here, this is H by 2, and here, up to here, this is minus H by 2. Okay. So for Y, you're giving H by 2 and minus H by 2 becomes H square by 4 and H square by 4 cancel. So web shear stress is FBH by 2I. So average shear force acting on the flange is F1 is equal to, see, this average force, because this ranges from here at this point, this is 0, and at this point FHB by 2I, right? So its average shear force is FHB plus 0 by 2 by 2I by 2. Okay, so FB square HT by 4I. So here now we have analyzed the value of F1. Now what you need to do is that you need to substitute this condition, F into E is equal to F1 into H. So F into E is equal to F1 is this one into H. So the value of E is given as B square H square T by 4I. Okay, this distance E, that is eccentricity, is given as E is equal to B square H square T by 4I. Okay, so H square B square T by 4I is the distance of for a thin walled open section. Okay, so I hope that this was a long lecture, and this is actually very interesting lecture. Please try to understand the concepts. Okay, thank you.